Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Ariel Show. It's a special day today. It's a special edition because I'm here at Label Live in Franklin, Tennessee, in our rehearsal space. One of the guys we're working with was kind enough to lend me this room for a moment to film the Ariel Show in, and it's super cute. I've been in like some freezing cold back warehouse room this entire time, but now that I'm in here filming the show, I'm gonna stall because it's warm and cozy and pretty, so I'm gonna make this a long one. Not really, but what I am gonna be talking to you about today is how to have more confidence, more security in your art. If you're not an artist, you still need to watch this because even if you don't consider yourself someone who makes things like textiles or music or all the other many mediums that art can come across, you're still expressing yourself on such a regular basis in ways that you don't even know. Like, your life is art, okay? And we need to have security, self-assuredness, and confidence in all of it because let me tell you, it makes such a big difference. And if you are an artist, you're really going to want to watch this because you're going to be able to apply everything so quickly into all these various ways that you're sprinkling your creative soul into all areas of your life. So let's dig in. So the idea to make this episode for you actually came from a viewer comment. I love when you guys leave helpful comments for me and your questions. And someone left a comment saying, what do I do when I hate all my music? Everything I'm making, I just rip it apart. I think it sucks. I don't love it. And of course, that is heartbreaking. As someone who is contributing in the world, you want to be able to be proud of what you make. You put so much love into it. And then if you've experienced that where you work really hard at something and it doesn't even matter because you know that just a few hours or a few days, a few years later, you're just going to be your own worst critic. And let me tell you, that doesn't serve you at all. In fact, all that does is slow you down. It makes it so your art can't connect with people because you don't have the confidence to share it. And it means that the stuff that you make will never be heard, it will never be seen, it will never be enjoyed by others. And then what's crazy is you get to prove yourself true. You get to prove yourself right, I should say. You get to tell yourself, see, that thing sucked. It never went anywhere. I never put that album out, or nobody bought that thing because you weren't sharing it, because you were not confident with it. So it becomes this really crazy self-fulfilling prophecy. If you decide this thing that I just made is no good, you will hide, you will not be proud of it, you will not stand behind it, you will not joyfully be sharing it with the world. And that creates kind of an energy around that piece of art that you just made. So let's talk in terms of music. Let's say I write a song and I love it and I think it's amazing. This is what always happens to me. I write it and I'm convinced a lot of it sucks. Every once in a while I'm like, this is awesome. The next day, you guys, I'll open up my laptop and give it a listen. And more times than not, I'm like, oh God, what was I thinking? And I'll have been up at like 2 in the morning the night before, just getting lost in it and so excited. And then the next day, I won't love it and I'll pick it apart. And I mean, there have been so many probably pretty awesome songs that I will never share with the world because I was my own worst critic. And the reason that we do this is self-protection, of course, right? A lot of times, artists are the most insecure people in the world, and that's not okay. We don't want it to be that way. But what we do often is we're so afraid of how other people are going to criticize it that we do their job for them, don't we? We just criticize our art for them, and we keep a running list mentally of everything that's wrong with it. And you got to watch because if you're doing any kind of presenting of your work, even if you're making a video talking about your jewelry that you made, or if you're trying to sell yourself as an artist, or if you're putting on a live performance or whatever it is, let's say you're acting, all of that, if you think it sucks, of course that is going to come out in the results. You could be the best presenter, salesperson, actress, whatever in the world, and that energy is going to come across, which is why we need to change the energy. And anyone can be a critic. Anyone can rip their work apart. So we're not going to be the ones that do that, are we? We're going to figure out how to love and stand behind the amazing expressions of our soul that we've made. Here's how we do that. After we've made something, there is a small window of time when we are deciding how we feel about it. When our mind is making up its mind about whether or not this is something we're proud of and ecstatic about and can stand behind, or whether this is the worst piece of junk that anyone has ever put out in the planet. In that time, I view it like the cement is still wet in my mind, and I can mold that thing however I want because it's not set yet. And so watch out, because your brain, if it naturally, and most of our brains naturally go to the negative, we're being overly critical, we're being way too hard on ourselves, we're trying to beat ourselves up before anyone else can do it. If that's the case, the cement is going to dry and your mind will have been made up that this sucks. And guess what? You're not going to share it. Guess what? You're not going to be proud of it. No one is ever going to listen to it and enjoy it. And that is the exact opposite of the response that we need to have. What we need to do is decide when the cement is still wet that we love this thing so much because it is an expression of who we are. And I really like to personalize it like that. And so instead of just saying, like, looking at the piece of art or the song or whatever for just what it is, instead really being like, no, I put myself into that. That's a part of me. That's an extension of me. And the reason this works is because I've been putting a lot of time into loving myself. And I hope you have too. And so if you have any love for yourself at all, then you can look at your artwork like you would like a kid, like the way a mom looks at its kid. I don't have kids, thank God. But I hear that the way that it works is you just love those things to death. Like they are a part of you, and so you cannot not love them. You care about them more than anything. You're fiercely protective, right? You don't care what the world thinks because you're like, these are my babies. I effing love them. Don't mess with them. And that's a really inspiring way to look at your creations, right? They're an extension of you, just like a kid would be. And so you need to have that pride for your work. If you don't stand behind it, nobody else will. And so if you have this expectation that someone else is going to come around and discover you and look at your work and be like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. Where have you been all my life? I'm now going to dump a lot of money into developing you and making sure the whole world knows you exist. It doesn't happen that way. You make that happen. So you be your biggest cheerleader. You be your talent scout. You be your fiercest, most amazing, like, oh, you pour so much love and energy into that creation as you're making it, and then you need to keep that up after the fact. And so you need to allow yourself to intentionally just enjoy what you work on. You know, and if you hear other people giving you positive feedback, like let that sink in a little bit and then imagine that you're them. And so even if it's your mom, be like, okay, how does my mom see this painting that I just made? Or maybe if you did love it when you just made it, go back to that feeling and remember it. And something I like to do is when I am in love with a piece, I like to journal about it. I like to be like, I write myself notes. I'm like, Ariel, this is the most amazing thing ever. You should be so proud of this. I do that with our albums as I'm making them. I'm like, oh, this song is just gold. We nailed it on this. Because I know a few months down the road, I'm going to hear a clip of it and be like, oh God, that's so stupid. I'm just going to beat myself up, and that's not a loving way to live. And I know it's completely unhelpful. It's completely counterintuitive. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. So instead, intentionally love your stuff. I was watching a Nicki Minaj interview the other day, which I don't do often, but she's pretty fascinating. And she was saying how much you have to believe in the work that you've made, and that it's your job, part of your job is to love what you've made, regardless of what everyone else thinks. And she was saying that when you love the thing, people can tell. And even if they don't understand it at first, they will come around. And I really love that idea. Like part of our job is to make it and then to stand by it. And even if no one else is understanding it, even if we're being misunderstood, misinterpreted, misjudged, mislabeled, whatever, after a while, they'll see the love that we have for it and they'll start to view it that same way too. And that's just a powerful way to look at it. Whether or not it comes true, I don't even know, but we might as well enjoy what we're making as we're making it. And I just really enjoyed making this Ariel Show episode for you guys, so I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, go ahead and leave me a comment about your own self-doubt and insecurities in your art making, in your creation, or in how you show up in life. The month of February, you know, we're talking about confidence, so if you missed my first 2 videos on that, I highly encourage you to go back and watch those because it's going to set us up to come out on the other side of this month just feeling better about ourselves. Which is important. Like, you're amazing. You need to be feeling that all the time. You need to be feeling good about yourself in a really balanced, healthy, non-egotistical way, but a way that you can feel good and be happy. Feeling good is awesome, you guys. Before I wrap up this Ariel Show, I want to talk just to my patrons for a second. You guys, I am so grateful to you. You don't even know. The show would have died 3.5 years ago without your contribution. And every week I get new emails about people who are joining, and I've been trying to send you guys a little message letting you know, like, hey, I just got your email. It just popped through. I saw that you just joined, and trying to just give you some love and let you know that I'm thinking about you and let you know that my life would be so drastically different in a bad way without you. So you help support the art that I make through this show every week, and it really means a lot to me. And I hope that you guys can scroll through the comments and see how these episodes are really like actually helping people every week, which is the point, right? The point is trying to spread some of this positivity. I'm trying to spread some of the answers that I've had to really like claw my way into finding joy. And it would be crazy to keep that to myself. So I want to share that. And you guys are like the way that I'm able to share that. So thank you for sponsoring today's episode. I love you. I'm grateful to you. Gonna make me cry. All right, for everyone else, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. I'm going to be heading on the road. Super excited. So I'll see you guys on tour. I'll be meeting some of you guys there. Mwah.